IGCSE Biology is a challenging subject that requires a solid understanding of a wide range of key concepts. Join me in this six-part video series where I systematically break down these concepts into manageable sections, providing you with everything you need to excel in your IGCSE Biology board exams. Syllabus can be characterized into six major components for better comprehension. Part 1. The Basics. The foundational topics include characteristics and classification of living organisms, organization of the organism, movement into and out of cells, and biological molecules. These initial chapters are relatively straightforward but crucial for building a strong understanding for more complex topics. Part 2. Nutrition. This section covers enzymes, nutrition in plants, and nutrition in humans, explaining how plants and animals produce and utilize nutrients. Part 3. Transport systems. Topics in this section include transport in plants, transport in animals, and disease and immunity, which focus on how organisms distribute essential substances and defend against infections. Part 4. Interlude. This section includes excretion in humans, drugs, gas exchange in humans, and respiration. These topics are generally easier to grasp but are essential for understanding human physiology. Part 5. Coordination and reproduction. These are among the most frequently tested and conceptually challenging topics. Coordination and response, and reproduction. Part 6. Ecology and genetics. The final section covers inheritance, variation and selection, organisms and the environment, human influences on ecosystems, and biotechnology and genetic modification. Part 1. The basics. Characteristics and classification of living organisms. Understanding the definitions of Mrs. Gren, which are movement, respiration, sensitivity, growth, reproduction, excretion, and nutrition, is essential, particularly for definition based questions that offer easy marks. Other key definitions such as species and the binomial system should also be memorized. Dichotomous keys are regularly tested and, while simple, require careful attention to avoid errors. Familiarity with the five kingdoms of life, which are animals, plants, fungi, prokaryotes, and prototists, and their distinguishing cellular features, is also crucial. Within the plant kingdom, it is important to learn about the characteristics of ferns as well as to differentiate between monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Similarly, understanding the characteristics of arthropods, which consist of crustaceans, insects, arachnids, and myriapods, and vertebrates, which consist of fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals, is essential. Additionally, students must recognize the defining features of viruses. Organization of the organism. This chapter focuses on the structures and functions of cell organelles, including the nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, ribosomes, mitochondria, cell wall, chloroplast, flagellum, and plasmids in animal, plant, and bacterial cells. The functions and adaptations of specialized cells, which are ciliated cells, root hair cells, palisade mesophyll cells, nerve cells, red blood cells, sperm cells, and egg cells, must also be understood. The definitions for tissues, organs, and organ systems should also be memorized. Additionally, students must master the magnification formula, which is magnification is equal to image size by actual size, and the conversion between millimeters and micrometers, which is 1 millimeter is equal to 1000 micrometers. Movement into and out of cells. This chapter is fundamental for later concepts like transpiration and gas exchange. Key processes include diffusion, osmosis, and active transport, and students must be able to describe and differentiate between them using correct terminology as just shown. Biological molecules. This section covers the basic building blocks of biological molecules, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, and the elements that compose them. The food test for biological molecules, commonly assessed in paper 6, and the expected results must also be memorized. Finally, students must be able to understand the structure of DNA, including the base pairing rules, which are A to T and C to G. Exam tips. When identifying distinguishing features, choose only those visible in the image given if asked so. When giving definitions, remember to give keywords to obtain the maximum marks. These are those words or phrases in bold in the definitions just given in the video. When describing processes such as diffusion and osmosis in different contexts like transpiration, remember to also give the keywords for these processes just listed for each process in the video. When giving the test for biological molecules, remember to give the positive result, which is the color change, stating the original and final color. What's next? This concludes the first part of the IGCSE Biology syllabus covering the fundamental concepts. If this video receives enough engagement, I will continue the series with part 2 on nutrition. Don't forget to subscribe and stay updated for future content. Thank you for watching. Best of luck with your studies.